Okay, so welcome to our discussion. It says A8 there. We're still looking at the 5070, paper 2, section A. This is our last question in this series before we go to section B. The diagram shows two allotropes of carbon. So you can see the two allotropes X there. If you are familiar with that, that is representing diamond, and that is representing, graphite. Then it says define the term allotrope. So you need to know what an allotrope is, but allotropes we can simply say are different, like I said in the other video for science, are different structural forms of the same element in the same physical state. So just different structural form, you can see, but it's the same element in the same physical state, and that's what we simply call as being allotropes there. All right, then it says identify allotrope X and Y. Like I said, X is representing diamond and Y is actually representing, you can see, stuck on each other, so they are able to slide. That is representing graphite. Then the question there says state one use of allotrope X. In other words, what's the use of diamond? Diamond has got so many uses. One, you can actually use it for cutting glass, or in making drill bits. So you can actually make drill bits in drilling hard rocks due to its resistance. All right, then the second one that you can actually use diamond for, well, we can actually use it for making jewelry. So it can also be used in making jewelry due to its high refractive index, so that's sparkling. So a total internal reflection would take place at an angle of 45 degrees. Now they wanted you just to state one there, so you can choose, but there are so many other uses you could do. Then C2 says that what property of the allotrope X makes it possible for its use you have stated in C1. For example, I would say also one, what makes it possible to be used for cutting glass or in making drill bits? Why do we use it? It's because it is it's said to be the hardest known material, so we can say it is extremely hard. So because it is extremely hard, no wonder they use it in making drill bits so that they could cut through rocks or cutting grass. Then what about, why do they use it in making jewelry? In this case, what's the property? Well, it's because diamond, it is shiny. So when it is polished to a certain angle of about 45, it is shiny. Or if you want, you could have said, it has high brilliance. Yeah, so because of having high brilliance in this case, it is actually capable of doing that. Or you could have actually said due to its high refractive index and sparkle. So due to its high refractive index and sparkle, it is simply used in making jewelries. Then there we talked about it is extremely hard in this case, or it is actually the hardest known material. I think that's what would have actually looked at. So this is what I wanted you to do with these questions in this case. Please watch out the whole series for this chemistry so that you can at least learn something. If you are revising or about to write the exam, this can actually help you to revise. Watch out as we do as we revise together some of the questions in section B and see what they wanted you to do there. Thank you so much for watching.